Yeah. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 22 and 23. Rajam stvayanu prishtanam.
Rajam stvayanu prishtanam.
Sukhrudham na sukhrudpure.
Suhradam na suhradpure.
Viprashapha vimudhanam.
Viprashapa vimudhanam.
Nignatham mushtibhirmitha.
Nignatam mushtibhirmitha.
Varuni madiram pitva.
Varuni madiram pitava.
Madhon matita chetasam.
Madon matita chetasam.
Ajanatham ivanyonyam.
Ajanatam ivanyoyam.
Chatu panchavaseshita.
Chatu panchavasheshita.
Rajam stvayanu prishtanam.
Rajam svayanu prishtanam.
Sukhrudham na sukhrudpure.
Suhridam na suhridpure.
Viprashapha vimudhanam.
Viprashapa vimudhanam.
Nignatham mushtibhirmitha.
Nignatam mushtibhirmitha.
Varuni madiram pitva.
Varuni madiram pitva.
Madhon matitha chetasam.
Madon matita chetasam.
Ajanatham ivanyonyam.
Ajanatam ivanyoyam.
Chatu panchavasheshita.
Chatu panchavasheshita.
Ritirupini.
Rajam swayana prasthanam.
Rajam swayana prishtanam.
Shamna suhrit pure.
Suhridam na
Suhridpure.
Viprasapa vimodhanam.
Viprashapa
Viprashapa vimudhanam.
Vignanatam mushtibhirmitha.
Nignatham mushtibhirmitha.
Varunim madiram pitva.
Varuni madiram
pitva.
Madon matita chetasam.
Madon matita chetasam.
Ajnatam ivnayonanam.
Ajanatam ivanyonyam.
Chatu pancha savesita.
Chatu panchavasheshita.
Divya Rupa.
Rajam stvayanu prishtanam.
Rajam stvayanu prishtanam.
Suhradamna suhradpure.
Sukhrudhamna sukhrudpure.
Viprashapa vimudhanam.
Viprashapa vimudhanam.
Nignanatam mushtibhirmitha.
Nignatham mushtibhirmitha.
Varuni madiram pitva.
Varuni madiram pitva.
Madon matita chetasam.
Madhon matita chetasam.
Ajanatam ivanyoyam.
Ajanatham ivanyonyam.
Chatu panchavasheshita.
Chatu panchavasheshita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Synonyms: Rajan, O King.
Rajan, O King.
Tvaya, by you.
Swaya, by you.
Anuprashthanam,
Anuprasthana,
as you inquired.
as you inquire.
Sukhrudam, of friends and relatives.
Suhridam, of friends and relatives.
Na, our.
Na,
Sukhrudpure, in the city of Dwaraka.
Suhridpure, in the city of Dwarka.
Vipra, the Brahmanas.
Vipra, the Brahmanas.
Shapa, by the curse of.
Shaka, by the curse.
Vimudanam, of the befooled.
Vimudanam, of the befooled.
Nignatham, of the killed.
Nignatam, of the killed.
Mushtibi, with bunches of sticks.
Mushtibi, with the bunches of sticks.
Mitha, among themselves.
Mika, among themselves.
Varunim, fermented rice.
Varunim, fermented rice.
Madiram, wine.
Madiram, wine.
Pitwa, having drunk.
Pitwa, having drunk.
Mada Matitha, being intoxicated.
Madhun Matita, being intoxicated.
Chetasam, of that mental situation.
Sham, of that mental situation.
Ajanatham, of the unrecognized.
Ajanatam, of the unrecognized.
Iva, like.
Iva, like.
Anyonyam, on another.
Anyonyam, one another.
Chatu, 4.
Chatu, 4.
Pancha, 5.
Pancha, 5.
Avasheshitha, now remaining.
Aveshishita, now remaining.
Translation, please repeat after me. O King.
Okay.
Since you have asked me about our friends and relatives in the city of Dwaraka,
Since you have asked me about our friends and relatives in the city of Dwaraka,
I will inform you that
I'll inform you that
all of them were cursed by the Brahmanas.
all of them were cursed by the Brahmanas.
And as a result, they all become intoxicated with wine.
And as a result, they all become intoxicated with wine
Made of putrefied rice and fought among themselves with sticks.
Made of putrefied rice and fought among themselves with sticks.
Not even recognizing one another.
Not even recognizing one another.
Now all but 4 or 5 of them are dead and gone.
Now all but 4 or 5 of them are dead and gone.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 24. Prayenaitad Bhagavata.
Prayenaitad
Ishvarasya Vicheshtitam. Ito Nignanti Bhutani. Bhavayanti Chayanmitha. Prayenaitad Bhagavata. Ishvarasya Vicheshtitam. Mito Nignanti Bhutani. Bhavayanti Chayanmitha. Divya Rupa.
Prayenaitad Bhagavata.
Prayenaitad Bhagavata.
Ishvarasya Vicheshtitam.
Ishvarasya Vicheshtitam.
Mitho nignanti bhutani.
Mito nignanti bhutani.
Bhavayanti chayanmita.
Bhavanti chayanmita. Priti Rupini.
प्रायेणैतद् भगवता
Prayenaitad bhagavata.
ईश्वरस्य विशेषितम्
Ishvarasya vicheshtitam.
मिथो निघ्नन्ति भूतानि
Mito
Mitho
nignanti
nignanti
bhutani.
bhutani.
भावयन्ति च यन्मिथ
Bhavayanti
Bhavayanti
chayanmita.
chayanmita.
Synonyms. Prayena etat. It's almost by.
Prayana etat, it is almost by
Bhagavata of the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavata of the personality of Godhead.
Ishvarasya of the Lord.
Ishwarasya of the Lord.
Vicheshtitam by the will of.
Vicheshtitam by the will of.
Mitha one another.
Mitha one another.
Nignanti do kill.
Nignanti to kill.
Bhutani the living beings.
Bhutani the living beings.
Bhavayanti as also protect.
Bhavayanti as also protect.
Cha also.
Cha also.
Yat of whom.
Yat of whom.
Mitha one another.
Mitha one another.
Translation, please repeat after me. Factually, this is all due to the supreme will of the Lord.
Actually, this is all due to the supreme will of the Lord.
The personality of Godhead.
The personality of Godhead.
Sometimes people kill one another.
Sometimes people kill one another.
And at other times they protect one another.
And at other times they protect one another.
Purport.
According to the anthropologists, there is nature's law of struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. But they do not know that behind the law of nature is the supreme direction of the supreme personality of Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the law of nature is executed under the direction of the Lord. Whenever, therefore, there is peace in the world, it must be known that it is due to the good will of the Lord. And whenever there is upheaval in the world, it is also due to the supreme will of the Lord. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Whenever, therefore, there is disobedience of the established rules enacted by the Lord, there is a war between men and nations. The surest way to the path of peace, therefore, is dovetailing everything to the established rule of the Lord. The established rule is that whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we sacrifice, or whatever we give in the charity must be done to the full satisfaction of the Lord. No one should do anything, eat anything, sacrifice anything, or give anything in charity against the will of the Lord. This creation is the better part of valor, and one must learn how to discriminate between action which may be pleasing to the Lord and those which may not be pleasing to the Lord. An action is thus judged by the Lord's pleasure or displeasure. There is no room for personal whims. We must always be guided by the pleasure of the Lord. Such action is called yoga karmasu kausalam, or action performed which are linked with the Supreme Lord. That is the art of doing a thing perfectly.
Hari Om Tat Sat. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So, नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हराय नम कृष्ण यादवाय नम हरे गोपाल गोविंद राम श्रीमधुसूदनाम मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुलंगायते गिरिम कृपातमं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दैरतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरम्. Hari Om Tat Sat. So in the previous two verses we saw that they all become intoxicated due to the curds of brahmanas with wine made of purified rice. This is purified. This is nothing but purified rice. Prabhupada corrected this in one of his lecture also. So this is purified rice. And actually, in India, gentlemen means in those time, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. These three, they are generally gentlemen. And at least Brahmanas are certainly gentlemen because they will follow strictly the Brahmana principles, which means they do not drink. Neither the Kshatriyas. They are allowed to drink in some particular function, but that is very rare. Even Kshatriya, they don't drink. Vaishyas also, they do not drink. Only Shudras. In Shudras also, only some of them, those who are less than Shudras, we can say, only they drink. So the drunkards are generally less than Shudras. They are lower than the Varnashrama Dharma principle also. Varnashrama Dharma itself is material. So we have to rise above that. And the drunkards are even lower than that. They boil the rice with some water. They keep it for a few days. Then it becomes fermented. And then it becomes intoxicating. This is called homemade liquor. And then they will distill it. Then it will become what you call first-class brandy. So it is not that liquor, drinking was not existing. It was there. But who drank? That is stated here. In this particular words, very clearly, you can see that Vipra Shapa Vimudanam. Okay. Those who are cursed, Vimudanam. And because they are cursed, they were bewildered. Vipra Shapa, the Brahmanas Shapa, the curse of the Brahmanas. So that is in the Yaduvamsa. All of you know the pastime that is rare in the Krishna book, Lord Krishna book. You can see that how this curse was happened and what happened as a result of the curse. Everything is there in Krishna book. It's a very wonderful, what do you call it? Pastime of the Lord. That is the Lord's will to wind up the Yadu dynasty because he has reduced the burden on the earth. And then the Yadu dynasty became so huge that they become the burden of the earth. So he wants to also, when he winds up, he wants also those who have come to assist him in his mission. He wants also them to wind up and go back to their respective destination. So this is the plan of the Lord. And that is mentioned here very clearly. Everything is happening only by the will of the Supreme Lord. And that Arjuna is mentioning in the very next verse that everything is due to the supreme will of the Lord. So whether it is something good or something bad, both are by the will of the Lord. If there is peace, also by the will of the Lord. If there is war, also by the will of the Lord. So this is to be understood. And in how in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairaham eva vedya vedanta krit vedavid eva chavam. So everybody actually is suffering or enjoying. There is no enjoyment actually, because Krishna said dukhalayam ashashvatam. There is only suffering, but the struggle for existence is that. In order to counteract the suffering, we take it as enjoy. Actually, there is no enjoying. It is only attempt to avoid the suffering. We think that is enjoyment. In the material world, otherwise, actually, there is no enjoyment at all. Enjoying and suffering, the so-called understanding of enjoying is also actually suffering. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling that Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam in chapter 8, he is telling, 15th verse. So this is the place for suffering. That's a fact. One person is trying to accept suffering as enjoying, and another person is trying to end actually suffering. So that's the difference between sane and insane person. That is now government is also having a prison house. There are some prisoners who are called first-class prisoners. They are given special favor by the government. Like that. It doesn't mean that those who are very good prisoner, they are enjoying. No, they cannot enjoy, because prison is meant for suffering. So the whole material world is meant for suffering. Because we rebelled against Krishna, we violated the law of Krishna, we disobeyed the law of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given us an opportunity of free will. That with your own sweet free will, you do whatever you like. What you will do? Will you serve Krishna or not? So we rebelled against him. So that criminal offense we have committed against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anybody who commits offense by violating the law of government, they are put into the prison. And prison, they have to adhere to a stringent law. There is no enjoyment in prison. They don't have their own house people, families. They cannot enjoy anything. They will be work hard and, punishment. And whatever they give, they have to eat. Whatever accommodation they give, they have to sleep. So like that, they have made temporarily, they are grouping together as if they are relatives. No, this particular material world is like such a prison house. Whatever you may be first-class prisoner or second-class prisoner or third-class prisoner, there may be some favor given by the government to the first-class prisoner, but they may entrust him with some duty. Okay, you take charge of this group of prisoners and bring them every day at this time to this place so that they can break the stones. So that doesn't mean that this first-class prisoner is enjoying. He is also suffering only. And third-class prisoner also. Both of them are prisoners. Because prison is meant for not comfortable life, right? That is meant for very, very uncomfortable. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So this entire material world is meant for suffering only. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing, Anadi karma phale hari bhavarnava jale. So one who is sane person, he knows that I may be first-class prisoner, but that doesn't mean I am not prisoner, right? I am still prisoner only. So the suffering of the prison house, that I have no independence to do anything, that is the prisoner's life. So, prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. Ahankara vimudatma, again this vimudatma comes here. Only vimudatma will think, karta hameti manyate. Vimudatma may think I am enjoying. Okay, he doesn't even know that he is suffering. Everybody is being carried by the laws of material nature. Only a foolish person, Vimudatma, is thinking that he is doing himself. So, that is very important. We cannot do anything without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A blade of grass cannot move without the sanction of the Lord. It is said in the Shastras. Okay. So just like in the government, in the state, you cannot do anything without the sanction of the government. Similarly, the supreme state, the supreme order giver is Krishna. And with his sanction, we cannot do anything. Anything we cannot do. So, but here is also said, Mito nignanti bhutani bhavyanti cha yannita. Sometimes by his sweet free will, Krishna's will. We kill one another and sometimes we give protection to one another. Arjuna is very beautifully explaining. This is will of the Lord. By the will of the Lord, sometimes the living entities kill each other. Sometimes they protect each other. So does it mean that in different time Krishna is giving different intelligence? No. Krishna's action is Daiva. Daivim Prakritim. He says the Janma Karma Chame Divyam. His action is always transcendental. His action is nothing material. So, and Krishna's action is always Daiva, superior. Just like we say, the Supreme Court judge, okay, so he can sentence. Not that somebody condemning somebody that this man should be hanged and another man says, yes, he must get the degree. He will get the millions of dollars from that person. Not like that. So this is actually the order. Order is to be given by the authority. So supreme authority is the supreme personality of God and Lord Sri Krishna. And others are simply administering the law, the demigods and everybody, they will simply administer the law. And whatever the law, that should be abided by. And what is the purpose? The purport Prabhupada is giving very beautifully. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. What is the purpose of performing? Anything that you perform is ultimately Krishna should be satisfied. Every activity, one must learn how to act in such a way that Krishna will be pleased. Whether Krishna is pleased or not is the only question to determine whether should I do a thing or not. So this is very, very important. And Karmana Daivanetrena in Srimad Bhagavatam it says, we are acting and Daivanetrena by superior administration. Daivanetrena means we are getting different types of body and suffering or enjoying whatever we think we are enjoying, we are suffering the consequence. This is our position. And Krishna, he is supreme personality of Godhead. Samoham sarveshu bhuteshu. He says, I am equal to everyone. Krishna is not partial. We have seen in so many places. If he is partial, how he can be God? Krishna or God is not partial. Somebody should be killed and somebody should be rewarded with $10,000. No. It's our own work. We situate, we create our situation. Sometimes we kill each other, sometimes we protect each other. We kill and we protect it. We are creating that situation. I kill in my last life and I kill somebody, then I shall be killed also by somebody. That is the law of nature or law of God. So that we should not. And I forget that because I kill somebody now, that somebody is killing me. That I forgot when I'm being killed. But Krishna will remind, now this person killed you or this child killed you last life. Now you can kill in the womb. Now you kill. Vicheshtitam, he reminds, because Krishna is described as Anumanta. Anumanta Upadrashta. So he is witness. He says, Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. The remembrance and forgetfulness both comes from Krishna only. So now this man has killed this man. Now he gets the opportunity to kill him again. And Krishna reminds you, kill him. Here is your opportunity. This is the position. Don't think when it is said that Ishwarasya Vicheshtitam, it is by the will, that will, because he is equal to everyone. Krishna does not really want to kill or protect anybody. He wants everybody to be engaged in their original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. That's the only purpose of even Krishna descending down, so that he can attract the fools and rascals who has forgotten Krishna, so that we'll be attracted by him. His activity, Dharma Karma Chame Divyam, his transcendental activity, where we be attracted and we understand his activities and his appearance are totally transcendental, and we go back home, back to Godhead and engage in the pure unalloyed loving devotional service. Krishna is never partial, he is impartial. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshya asti na priya. Nobody is dear to him, nobody is enemy to him, and everybody is equal to him. So that is Krishna. So we need to understand that the purpose of this human life is not meant for killing somebody or protecting somebody. Rather, it is meant to serve Krishna. In the adokshaja, bhakti yogam adokshaje. So bhakti yogam adokshaje means you have to perform pure devotional service to adokshaja, akshaja, one who is beyond the perception of the senses. So how you can serve Krishna who is beyond your material senses? So that is also given. Sevan mukhehi jikvado swayam eva spuratyata. So you have to first of all start by chanting the holy name and hearing the holy name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and eating prasadam, hear Krishna Katha, this Bhagavatam class and everything. In this way, your devotional service should begin. And then this devotional service will naturally purify the senses and engage the senses so that Krishna can be perceived. He can be perceived by purified senses. Otherwise, impure senses through which you cannot, through matter, you cannot perceive Krishna, because Krishna said that Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. His appearance also transcendental, his activities also transcendental, it's all spiritual. So how can you perceive that spiritual? Through material senses? No. So you have to spiritualize the senses by engaging the senses in the superior taste, which is Krishna consciousness activities. So that is the purport of the purport. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments or realization? Please do share this. Although you would like to speak anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभुजी इसमें दिया हुआ है, हमें विवेक से उन कार्यों में जिनसे भगवान प्रसन्न होते हैं तथा वे कार्य जिनसे भगवान रुष्ट होते हैं अंतर करना सीखना चाहिए। तो जैसे अब कोई कार्य है, हम जाते हैं अपना डेली रूटीन वर्क करते हैं, उसके बाद हम किसी काम के लिए घर से बाहर जाते हैं, काम नहीं हुआ, कचहरी में गए या ब्लॉक में गए या कहीं भी गए, कोई काम नहीं हुआ, फिर लौट करके आते हैं, फिर हम नेक्स्ट डे जाते हैं। तो इसमें हम कैसे ये बात समझेंगे कि भगवान जो है सो हमारे कार्यों से प्रसन्न हैं या रुष्ट हैं, इसमें कैसे हम अंतर करना जानेंगे?
वेरी 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 गुड क्वेश्चन। इसलिए हम गुरु साधु शास्त्र का सहारा लेते हैं। गुरु साधु और शास्त्रार्थ के आधार पे देखना चाहिए कि क्या भगवान कृष्ण मेरा इस एक हरकत से प्रसन्न है या नहीं। तो तभी आपको पता चलेगा वो नहीं, वो प्रसन्न नहीं है। अगर आप भक्ति योग में हैं और आप कृष्णा भावनामृत में रह करके किसी कार्य को गुरु और कृष्ण को मद्देनजर रखता हुआ करते हैं तो वो है कृष्ण को प्रसन्न करता है। ये हमको गुरु साधु शास्त्र से मिलता है। इस तरह हम देखते हैं। और यदि हम अपने स्वयं का इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए ही हम किसी कार्य को करते हैं, चाहे उसके लिए दूसरे को क्यों ना मारना पड़े या दुख पहुंचाना पड़े, कुछ भी हो, हमारा इंद्रिय तृप्ति को मद्देनजर रखता हुआ हम कोई भी हरकत करते, चाहे मन से करो या शरीर से करो, वो से कृष्ण भगवान कभी प्रसन्न नहीं होंगे। तो इस तरह गुरु साधु शास्त्र के आधार पे हर हम देखें तो कौन सा हमारा कार्य वो जो कि कृष्ण को प्रसन्न करता है। तो 9 टाइप ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस बतलाया गया है। ये डिवोशनल सर्विस जो है 9 प्रकार का होते हैं। ये 9 प्रकार का श्रवणम, कीर्तनम, विष्णु स्मरणम, वंदनम, अर्चनम, पाद सेवनम, सख्यम, आत्मनिवेदनम, ये सब जो है कृष्ण को प्रसन्न करने वाले एक्टिविटीज है। तो इस एक्टिविटीज के लिए अगर आपको कहीं काम करना पड़ता है, तनख्वाह लेना पड़ता है, उसके बाद आकर के आप उस पैसा को खर्च करेंगे किसके लिए? ये श्रवणम, कीर्तनम, विष्णु स्मरणम, अर्चनम, वंदनम करने के लिए। तो वो आप कार्य जो आप करते हैं उससे भी कृष्ण प्रसन्न हो जाते हैं और वो कार्य आपका जो कर्म था वो कर्म से आप मुक्त हो जाते हैं। उसी फल जैसे ही आप उसका रिजल्ट से कृष्ण भगवान का अर्चन किया तो आपका जो काम जो कर रहे वो कार्य भी आपका कर्म नहीं रह जाएगा, कर्म से आप मुक्त हो जाते हैं। वो भक्ति योग में लिया जाता है। जो भी कार्य कृष्ण भगवान को प्रसन्न करता है वो भक्ति योग कहलाता है। अर्जुन ने भी फाइट किया था, दुर्योधन ने भी फाइट किया था। अर्जुन का फाइटिंग कृष्ण को प्रसन्न किया, इसलिए अर्जुन का फाइटिंग जो है क्षत्रिय का धर्म नहीं है, उसका जो है वो भक्ति है, भक्ति योग है। लेकिन दुर्योधन का जो वो क्षत्रिय का धर्म है तो उसका फल उसको मिलता है, उससे कृष्ण प्रसन्न नहीं हुआ।
यस प्रभु, धन्यवाद प्रभु।
धन्यवाद। 5 4 3 2 1 0. Thank you very much for the association. We'll assemble back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock sharp to continue Srimad Bhagavatam class. Till then, Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
जय
Aditya Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Vaishnav Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Nityananda